consciousness has been a mystery always, I think, and is still a mystery for most people. And it has not been less a mystery in our times when we have this materialistic paradigm which means that it's only the physical world that is reality. The psychic world is more a process of molecules in the brain. And that's why science in consciousness today, at the academic level, usually is science about the brain. But if the brain is a physical tool, a kind of radio station where you can take in this wavelength of the consciousness that are on a non-physical, non-local dimension, we come to the question, what is this spirit? What is this consciousness? Because consciousness is the same thing as spirit. The spiritual world is nothing mystery, not a mystery in one sense. It is our consciousness. And in psychology we have different descriptions of our psyche, how it is structured and so on. And in Martinus' works we find also a description of our consciousness. A consciousness that is non-local, that is present everywhere. And that's why there also is a divine dimension in life as a totality, the world we look out in, and the world we look out, we look at the stars and so on. All these movements in the universe are an expression of consciousness. So matter derives out of consciousness. And Martinus has for a lot of symbols where he tries to show us through our physical senses, help us to understand what the world is that he sees and other people see outside of the physical realm. And this symbol is one of Martinus' 100 symbols that explains the spiritual world and the laws and principles of life. And this is the living being, and it is divided in 3 parts that we need to know to understand how consciousness is present in our physical body. And the physical body is, in a way, part of the consciousness. It's an expression of consciousness. So the orange circle here symbolizes the physical body. And as we see, it's just a little part of the symbol as a whole. And behind the physical body is our consciousness. And it has 6 different spiritual bodies or aspects of consciousness. And these 6 bodies give the totality of our consciousness, the way we feel, think, act, move, and so on. And it describes we have instinct with the red, we have energy of gravity or force or explosion that moves everything in the universe, no thoughts and so on. And we have feeling, we know it, for instance, as compassion and sensing, and we have intelligence with the green color, and we have intuition with the blue color, and we have this light indigo color that is memory. These mental aspects within us is also the forces in nature, in the universe, in everything, in animals, in the planet, and so on. Everything is an expression of consciousness. So we go back and see here, this is the created world. That's 1/3 of this symbol. And above there we have this center for all the information we gather from lifetime to lifetime. And he describes here we have talent kernels. We know we have talents for music and talking and language and moving and sports. We have different talents, and they are not in the physical body. They have centers in our spiritual, the super consciousness that is above the physical and the psychic aspects of life, the created part. So here in this eternal part of our consciousness, the super consciousness, we gather all information from lifetime to lifetime. We build talents and we continue to build talents from lifetime to lifetime. And there is a source within us, the eternal aspect. The eternal aspect is the fixed point we experience within us. I was the same looking in the mirror when I was 10 years old, 20 years old, 30 years old, 40 years old, and so on. There's a stillness within every living being, and that is the way we can feel this center within us. It is the eternal part that is present through all movement, through all aging, through all changes. Yeah, even in the whole universe, there is a stillness behind everything. So there is no beginning of the universe. Big Bang is just a part of the total change, ongoing change in the universe. There's always been a universe, and we have always been living. We have this eternal life. Everything has an eternal life. Everything has an eternal change. So there's a part of us, our consciousness, in a total, change going on forever. And there is an eternal part that is stillness, and this is the very, very, let's say, very, very interesting element that combines eternity with movement, with change in our psyche, in our body, and around the world. It's the information central, you could say, with all our talents and gifts that we continue from lifetime to lifetime.